G'day guys, it is Josh Lloyd and we're here for a preview for Wednesday's NBA action. It's Thursday here in Australia and New Zealand, and of course this is brought to you by Draftstars. If you're in Australia or New Zealand, why don't you get involved and put in a lineup over on Draftstars? You can take my lineup on, see how we go. I think we won last week with it, so let's see how it goes today. News for tomorrow, news for today by the way, Trey Mann out. That just came through, so we got that update. We're going to go through all 11 games. There's a lot to talk about. No point me wasting any more time. I wouldn't have thought.
Let's get it on, Gilly.
First game we're going to look at. Hello to everyone who's here, by the way. We're going to look at Dallas. They're taking on the Cleveland Cavaliers. Starting lineups have been confirmed. Mavericks are Doncic, Brunson, Bullock, Finney-Smith, and Powell. Dallas is without Burke and Ntilikina and Pinson. Dinwiddie also out. Brandon Knight will be in the rotation. The Cavs are without Evan Mobley, Rajon Rondo, Jarrett Allen. And they will start Darius Garland, Isaac Okoro, Karis LeVert, Larry Markkinen, and the C-Parter, Moses Brown. Jesus Christ. We're really at Moses Brown starting games point in the season. So, who do we look to use? Well, I'm going to do it. There's two minimum salary centers that I'm really interested in today, and one of them is unbelievably Moses Brown. Where the bloody hell is he? There he is. I don't feel good about it at all. I don't think the bloke's a good player, but at minimum salary, he could easily have 20. Very, very easily. I'm also going to go to a guy who's not far off minimum salary, and that's Reggie Bullock. He's playing a lot of minutes. He's only priced at under 9,000. That's cool. I can get 30 out of him. Oh, I like that. That's some good value. LeVert's at 11,000. Let's be fair, he's been bad nearly every game. But there is opportunity here as always. And then Doncic is at 20,000. It's a lot for Donch, but who's stopping him? Kevin Love, Larry Markkinen, Moses Brown? No, none of those guys are stopping him. Garlo's at 18,000. We love what he's been doing in general. 18's a lot though. It is a lot. Is it worth it? I'd probably lean towards no. Markkinen at 12,000 is not bad, but I'm not fully in there. While Brunson at 11 without Dinwiddie, I think that helps Brunson quite a bit. He's had a couple of good games. I wouldn't mind using him. He's not one that I'm going to use in my lineup, but he's not a bad one. The Mavericks are 4.5 point favorites. It's a very low total game, this one, just 214.5. So be aware of that as well. Okay. Let's go to the next game. We're looking at the Orlando Magic and the Washington Wizards in this next game. Lineups. The Magic are they're sitting Wendell Carter Jr., who's out with a swollen tank. They are starting Anthony, Hampton, Wagner, Akiki, and Bumba. Whereas the Wizards are starting Satoransky, Caldwell Pope, Kispert, Hachimura, and Porzingis. Kuzma is out for them. So that's your starters in that one. So what do we like? Well, I'm going to go straight to the big fella.
Percentages.
Yep. He's playing somehow. He's doing well. Why not chuck him in? Only under 17,000. Why wouldn't I like that? I do. Jalen Suggs also out for Orlando. So RJ Hampton's been starting. Let's be fair. He's been really bad. But he is at 7,000. Give me one of these 20-point games and I'm okay with it. I'm not going to use him, but I'm okay with it. Akiki's at 11, also struggling a bit at the moment, averaging just 22 over the last three. I'd like a little bit more production there. In fact, I'd probably go to someone like Denny Avdia ahead of him, who's at 10,000 and is playing really well without Kuzma most of the time. 3 games in a row of over 31. I like Avdia at just 10,000. Satoransky's at 9. Borderline to me, but probably not. Cole Anthony at 12. I don't want to risk it. I don't want to risk Bumba either. They'll play him 21 minutes maybe. So we can get Mo Wagner out there. In fact, Mo Wagner's not a bad option. We've seen some big games from him. Hachimura's been bad basically every game. Even last game where he got some shots to fall in, he shot 80%. He had 26 Draftstars points because he doesn't do anything in any other areas. And he's at 10,000, so I'm not interested there. Not interested in Fultz. Franz Wagner's at 11, but I worry about the way that they have been limiting minutes of players. That turns me off using a lot of these Magic guys in general. The third game of the day, the Denver Nuggets. The Indiana Pacers. Malcolm Brogdon is out.
I'm not tired.
For the Nuggets, JaMychal Green is out. Of course, Michael Porter Jr. is out. Jamal Murray's out. The Nuggets will start Morris, Barton, Gordon, Green, and Jokic. While for the Pacers, they are without Brogdon, Duarte, Brissett, Isaiah Jackson as well. So they will likely start it looks like the Red Rooster is starting. It'll be Halliburton, Heald, Justin Anderson, Terry Taylor, and Goga Badadze. Remember last game, they listed Terry Taylor as a starter and then pulled the old switcheroo on us and started Kiefer Sykes instead. At the moment, they are listing Terry Taylor as a starter ahead of Kiefer Sykes. We will pay attention to that and see if there's any changes as we move forward there. But that's sort of how it's sitting at the moment, that the Red Rooster is in there starting. I like Justin Anderson at 8,600. He's not the greatest player, obviously, but look at that. 330s in the last 5. 2 stinkers, but 330s. At 8,000, sure. I'm going to put Tyrese Halliburton in. Last game was really good for Halliburton. He struggled in a few others, but I'm going to throw him in at 13,000. The Red Roosters at 6,900. There is a bit of upside in Terry, especially at that cheap price. It's very, very cheap for the Red Rooster. Look at those games. 24, 24, 29, 27. He's got some value at under 7,000. Jokic is at 22. You know he's going to carve him up. The problem you have is, does this just get so out of hand that he plays 29 minutes? And at 22,000, I need 60. These 47s don't cut it. You need 60. And that's my risk there with Jokic. I think it's worth it, but it is a risk. Jalen Smith's at 10. He's really dropped off, while Budrick Hield's at almost 12,000. I don't mind that for Bud. Well, Aaron Gordon went pretty hard last game. He had a big game. He had 41 draft stars in that one. He's struggling a little bit in some of the other games, but it's been a little strong stretch for him. But we know at any point he can shit the bed. We have seen that time and time again. Bones Highland's minutes have dropped. Not keen. Will Barton's at 11. Barton's playing well. This is an opportunity for Will Barton to step up into somewhat of a larger role. The next game. The Nuggets are 9.5 point favorites, by the way, so there is blowout risk there. 236 is a big total. The Hornets, the Knicks. The Hornets are 1.5 point favorites. The total is 223.5 points. Do I have any news on lineups here? By the way, that Pacers lineup confirmed. Halliburton, Heald, Taylor, Anderson, Badadze. Dwayne Washington returns as well. The Hornets will be most likely Ball, Rozier, Bridges, Washington, Plumlee. They're without Gordon Hayward. While for the Knicks, Evan Fournier was questionable for personal reasons, but he's playing, so it'll be Burks, Fournier, Barrett, Randall, Robinson. I don't really think they're going to go in any other direction there. In fact, I'd be pretty stunned if old mate Tom Thibodeau decided that he would need to change. All right, let's have a look. What are we doing in this one? Oh, yeah, there is someone that I do like in this one, and he's a high-priced player, but the Hornets defense is trash, and I'm going to throw the double royal Julius Randall in at 16,000. Rozier's been struggling a bit, but at 13,000, I think he's worth a consideration here. Quickly's at 10. I just worry about what Coach Komover is going to do in terms of playing time. That always worries me. Well, Barrett's up at 15, and while the minutes for him are never a problem, it's about what the production's like. And at 15, I need you to do more than you've done in these last 4 games. I want 45, and you're not really there. So I don't think that's going to be one for me. LaMelo's up at 8,000. I like what he's doing. That's a lot, though. It is a lot. It's too much for me. I'd much prefer Miles Bridges at 15, personally. Who's been really, really strong. Obi Toppin's at 9. We loved using Toppin when Randall was out, but unfortunately for Toppin value, Randall is in. Hornets 1.5 point favorites, as I said, total 213.5. Now this next one, no, not 213, 223.5. This next one is 213.5, which is a disgustingly low total. We hate those ones, so therefore I'm not going to use anyone in this game. It is the Miami Heat and the Boston Celtics. Celtics are 5 point favorites, totals 213. Let's look at those lineups. We know that Rob Williams, the Rock DJ, is out for Boston. Tatum and Brown and Horford are all back, and Grant Williams is going to start. So it's going to be Smart, Brown, Tatum, Williams, Horford. Derek White moves to the bench. Daniel Tice moves to the bench. For the Heat, Duncan Robinson and Gabe Vincent are both playing, while Caleb Barton is out. Last game, they started Lowry, the Winter Soldier Max Strus, Jim Butler, PJ Tucker, and Bam Adebayo. I expect that they go with that same combination again. So, is there anyone I like in this one? No, I told you already, I don't. Jalen's at 14,000. Not bad. Jimmy Butler's at almost 15,000. Again, not bad, but probably too high. One I would consider is Tatum at 18,000. He's been really good when he's played. 55, 61, 51, 47. A stinker in there, but he's one that I would consider. I'm just going to spend my money somewhere else. Derek White's at 10,600. He was great last game, but that's in 41 minutes with so many players out. I don't really buy that here. While Strus at 7,000 is an interesting flyer. He was pretty bad last game. He shot 20%, but he still played 29 minutes. So there is a little bit of upside here for the Winter Soldier in that starting role. Adebayo's at 15. Not bad. Don't love it. I do think that Al Horford at 12,000 gives us a bit of interest with the absence of the Rock DJ. He hasn't been great. In fact, he's hit value like once here in the last 3 weeks. But he's not terrible. Hero, no. Lowry, 12,000, probably not. Grant Williams, 8,000, yeah. Yeah, maybe for Granny. I'm not fully into it, but I'm not ruling it out. Wolves, Raptors. Raptors 3.5 point favorites. The total, 228.5. So a decent total, good spread. Lineups, Raptors are starting Van Vliet, Trent, Anunoby, Barnes, and Siakam, but Ken Birch is back. So they're going to have Birch, Boucher, Young, and Achua all coming off the bench. How do you run 4 centers off the bench? Who misses out? Thad Young was great last game. Achua's had some nice moments. Boucher is 2 games removed from playing 33 minutes. Does one of these guys not play? Do they all play 10 minutes? How do they run it? Be aware of that. For the Wolves, Malik Beasley is out. Jaden McDaniels is out. They will start, I am sure. Beverly, Russell, Edwards, Vanderbilt, Towns. I'd be pretty shocked if they do anything different. And DFS-wise, there's no one I'm actually using, but that doesn't mean there are players that I don't want to use, because Scotty Barnes is interesting at 12,700. He does go into his shell when he plays with all those starters. We've seen this time and time again. 12,000 is not a bad price for him, though. While Van Vliet, I don't know about that. Freddie's at 15. Numbers are nowhere near where they need to be. His knee is cooked. It's rooted. Like, he's just not getting where he needs to be, and the shots aren't going in. Thad Young, great last game. 36 Draftstars points. He's at 6,700. Does it happen again? I don't know, man. It's very risky with 4 centers all in the bench rotation. And Gaz Trent has been doing nothing. Like, just really bad performances. He has the occasional blow up, and at 11,000 you get 37. That's great. But 18, 21, 19, 17, and then these big random games. Is he due for one? I guess you could say that. Is being due for something actually something that's real? No. So use that however you want to. I like Jalen Noel a little bit. Without Beasley, he's going to take a scoring role off the bench. He can have 20, and at 8,000, it's not far off where you want it to be. Siakam's at 17. That looks good to me. Edwards, probably not, but not bad. D'Angelo Russell, not for me. Jared Vanderbilt, not interested in Vanderbilt bar here at all. The Sacramento Kings, Houston Rockets. The Kings are 2.5 point favorites in this one. The total, 230. Lineup news. The Kings, well, Fox, Sabonis, Josh Jackson, Jeremy Lamb, they're all out. Alex Len. They're going to start, I would guess, Davion Mitchell, Justin Holiday, Harrison Barnes, Trey Lyles, Damian Jones. The big news is in Houston. There's no Dennis Schroeder out for the season. There's no Eric Gordon out for the season. And the Crucifix Christian Wood is also out for the season. So that means it's time for Alperen Şengün. Except he's also out. So is it Usman Garuba? I like Garuba. I think he's going to be a really good player. I would have loved to see Şengün finally get the chance, but Garuba's an option. I think they go with Porter, Green, Matthews, Tate, Garuba, with Christopher and KJ Martin getting pretty significant run off the bench here. I hope we see bloody Garuba starting. I'll be annoyed if we don't. He's a minimum salary center, 6,000. So if you don't want to use Moses Brown, I think Usman's an option. Cousin Kevin Porter's at 12,800. There you go. Bang. Thanks, KP. And then Jalen Green at 11,000. He's not in my lineup, but it's absolutely great to have him in there at 11,000. I love that one. The wild thing, Jay Sean Tate, is at $9,000 dues.
Even the wild thing's gone well. I can't do much about that.
Maybe. I don't mind it. Davion Mitchell's up at 14,000. And you know what? With how many minutes they're giving him, he's probably just going to trip over his ass to get into that value just by playing 40 minutes a night. That's not bad at 14,000, given some of his recent numbers. Trey Lyles at 13 is on the high side. 10 for Damian Jones is not bad. I like that. DiVincenzo at 11 is also okay. And then the pencil Harrison Barnes. Barnesy. Oh, hang on. The Kings have changed their mind here. Alex Len is available to play and Jeremy Lamb's a game time decision. Has to be the Kings, yeah? And Josh Jackson, who was ruled out, is now in. What's going on? The Kings. Always something, isn't it? Yeah, let's go back to the screen. Let me show you Usman Garuba. Just so I drum it into your head that I reckon he might start. I don't know. Otherwise, if Bruno Fernando starts, he's bad, but he can put up numbers. There's Garuba. Minimum salary bloke, $6,000. He had 11 points last game in really low minutes. I think he's a very, very interesting player for us. Thunder hosting the Hawks. Hawks are 12.5-point favorites. The total is 229 points. That is a big one. That is a very big total. So what do we have in terms of lineup news here? Well, what we know is that John Collins is out, Danilo Gallinari is out, and Jalen Johnson is out. DeAndre Hunter is questionable. Now, if Hunter is out, you would think it's Timothé Luwawu-Cabarrot. It still might be Luwawu-Cabarrot, and then Delon Wright comes off the bench. But Delon's going to have an increased role. I think at this point it'll be Young, Wright, Herter, Hunter, Capella, but it could easily be Luwawu-Cabarrot. The Thunder, Trey Mann is out, plus all of the out for seasons. They will probably start Teo Maledon, Aaron Wiggins, Vit Krejci, Alexei Pokusevski, and Isaiah Roby would be my guess there. So we're going to look at Aaron Wiggins. He's 7,600. He had a big game last time. He can absolutely do nothing. We have seen it. Look at that. Nothing. Oh, huge game. Nothing. He had 42. So I am shitting myself that he's going to do nothing. But let's try it anyway. There's just not that many guys who can take shots. Maledon's at 10,000. I do like Teo at his price. I just don't have a point guard slot available. He's at 10,000. Pokusevski's at 14. It's a little riskier spending 14 on Poku, but I don't mind it. Also, Isaiah Roby, I really like at 12,000. He's been killer. He had 55 last game. Yes, it was against Portland. Herter's at 10. I think that makes sense. And Vit Krejci at 8,000. He's a real player, and that's a real guy that can get you. Look at that. 3 games in a row. Big numbers. Well, big numbers for an $8,000 guy anyway. So he's not a bad option for us. Delon's at 8,000. I'd rather Krejci to Delon, to be honest. Bogdan's at 12.5. I think that's probably too high. Well, Capella's been turning it on lately. Big Clint, the Kerner. He's at 12,600. I'm not going to fully invest in him, but maybe. No, probably not. Memphis, San Antonio. Grizz, 6.5-point favorites. Total 235. Who's in, who's out? Well, we don't know, unfortunately. Jaren Jackson's questionable. Jar's out, we know that. If Jaren's out, you'll get Kyle Anderson and Brandon Clark getting a boost. We know that Tyus Jones, Dylan Brooks, Desmond Bain, and D'Anthony Melton all get a boost with Ja Morant out. While for the Spurs, Lonnie Walker returns. I expect they go with Murray, Primo, Vassell, Johnson, Pirtle, and then Richardson and Walker come off the bench. But they've got a few other options of ways they could go. Now, I'm just noticing this, that I'm going to take Reggie Bullock out of there because I want to put him in as a small forward because I need to create space for the guys that I actually want on my team. So let's chuck him as a small forward. I am going to take Tyrese Halliburton out of there and put him in as a shooting guard. Thank you. Because in this Memphis-San Antonio game, I want to put in Tyus Jones at under 10,000 as a starting point guard. So he's going to slide in for me. Joshie Primo's at just a beestick over minimum salary, $6,030. I'm not saying he's a great option, but there is a little bit of pop-off ability there, maybe. Tyus's brother Trey at minimum salary, maybe. Lonnie Walker at 8, I like as a bit of a flyer guy who can get hot and score a lot of points. While Pirtle's at 12, 8, don't know about that in this matchup. DeJounte's at 19,000, that is a lot. And he's been killing it. Do Memphis just crush this team, though? That's the risk, I think. Keldon Johnson also in the middle of a real hot streak. He's at 13,000 because he's putting up big numbers. I don't fully want to trust Keldon Johnson yet. Melton's at 11,000. I worry that the arse could fall out of his shooting at any point as well. So it's probably a bit risky to use him. Phoenix, Golden State. The Suns only 6.5-point favorites. Betting markets do not give the Suns the level of respect I think they deserve. It's pretty ridiculous. Every game it feels like. I don't have anyone from this game in my lineup, but let's talk about what's happening. The Suns aren't going to have Cam Johnson, so they're going to go with Paul Booker, Bridges, Crowder, Ayton, while the Warriors will get back all of their guys that rested, so they'll start Poole, Thompson, Wiggins, Porter, Green, and that's just Steph Curry that remains out over there. So I don't have anyone in this game, but 7,200 for John Kuminga's may be interesting, but look, his production is, look at that. Do you want to risk single digits? I wouldn't have thought so. Bridges at 11,000. Wiggins at 11. Also probably not. DeAndre Ayton at 14. That's one I don't mind. I think Ayton's got an opportunity for some good numbers here against this Warriors team. And it's not an exorbitant price to have to pay to get him in. Gaz Payton's a minimum salary player. Yeah, because he's been shithouse. There is opportunity, but he's not producing well. I think Otto Porter at under 10 has to at least be in our discussions. He's had some really strong games. Now, he also can shit the bed really at any point. But look at those two big boys there, and even that 33 last time we played. But you got the 15s and 16s and 13s in the middle, which is always the risk when you're looking at someone like Otto Porter. Jordan Poole's at 15. It's probably just a smidge too high, probably about 3,000 too high. I'm not against it. Same as Devin Booker at 18. It's probably just a little bit too high, but absolutely nothing wrong with utilizing them. Pelicans, Blazers. Late game here. The Pelicans are 12.5 point favorites in this one. Unfortunately, we don't know whether Jonas Valanciunas is going to play.
Jonas Valanciunas.
Now, they obviously hope that he does because they need to keep winning. But this is obviously a game that Portland does not want to win, much like all of them. So they're going to be running out some pretty weird lineups. I think the Pelicans will be McCollum, Jones, Ingram, Hayes, Valanciunas. Now, the interesting thing will be if Jonas is out, do they start Bill Hernan-Gomez? Or do they bring Devontae Graham back in and slide Jackson Hayes up to the 5? Regardless, Graham and Hernan-Gomez would all benefit, as would Hayes, if Jonas is out. They've also got Larry Nance they can throw in. For the Blazers, there is no Watford or Hart or Winslow. Didi Luzada returns. You shouldn't care about that, but he returns. Their lineup will probably be Williams, Hughes, Johnson, Allaby, Eubanks. One of the worst NBA starting groups you will ever likely see. But I am going to do it. I am going to throw Keon Johnson into my final roster spot, which I need to open up because I need to get Wiggins into the small forward slot. We go. Jump in, my guy. Where are you? All right. And let's go back over to this Portland one. And I'm going to throw my man Keon at his 8,000 into my last slot. So let's just submit that line before we talk about this. Thank you. Let's confirm it. Thanks, Draftstars. I've got Kevin Porter, Tyus Jones, Tyrese Halliburton, Keon Johnson, Bullock, Aaron Wiggins, Kristaps Porzingis, Julius Randall, and the C-parter Moses Brown. That's my lineup. So who else do I like in this one? McCollum's at 15,000. No, thank you. Brandon Ingram at... Well, actually, that's not true. I don't mind McCollum at 15. It's not a bad one. I think minimum salary Greg Brown's interesting. Amazingly. There's a possibility for him to be interesting. Herbalife Jones at 9.5. Yeah, maybe. Ingram at 17 probably feels too high, while Brandon Williams at almost 14. He could just shit the bed at any time, Brando. But we know he's going to get lots of opportunities. Shout out to having no headshot. 59 last game is great, but he had 8 here, 15 here, 13 here. The volatility in what Brandon Williams brings is pretty high. Allaby's at 10. It's all right. I don't think there's much upside in that. And then Eubanks at 16. Well, he had 60 last game, so that was sick. Is there any way that he can continue that? No, but can he get 45? I don't think that's crazy. I'm definitely not using him, and he's not going to be in my high priority guys to consider, but don't rule it out completely. All right, let's look at what other news has come through. They ruled Alex Len out. So the Kings ruled out Jeremy Lamb, Alex Len, Josh Jackson. And now Len and Jackson are playing. Lamb's a game time decision. What the fuck's wrong with these guys? Are they all right? Obviously, they're not. They're the Kings. The Timberwolves are starting Beverly, Russell, Edwards, Vanderbilt, and Towns. No shock there. Deandre Hunter still questionable for the Hawks. That would be good to get news on that. Unfortunately, we don't have it. And that's sort of where we are in terms of current news. We'll just stay on and see what else we got. So what statuses are we waiting on here? Who are we waiting to find out with? DeAndre Hunter, big one there. He's questionable. If he's out, Wright, Herter, and Luau Cabarro get the boost. If Jaren Jackson's out, he's questionable. Then we look at Kyle Anderson and Brandon Clark with the boost. Valanciunas is questionable. That's one of the big ones, and I don't think we're going to find out really anytime soon. Bill Hernan-Gomez, Devontae Graham, and Jackson Hayes get the boost there, and then Nance, Luzada, and Brown are all probable, so we all expect them to play in this one. So it's really Hunter, Jackson, and Valanciunas, where they're the big status updates that we need to wait for. So hopefully get some more news on those guys soon. That'd be great. All right, what else is going on? Everyone going all right? How's everyone going in the chat here? Whether you're on YouTube or you're live on Facebook, it's good to see you guys. What does Brandon Williams look like? I don't know. I don't know how do I describe what he looks like. Just Google his picture. Memphis and Jaren Jackson screwed me. They didn't say he was out until after the game. That's not true. They definitely announced that he was out well before their game. So you just got the news late. They definitely announced that he was out before the game. I will slander Memphis in the injury reporting often, but when shit's not true, I'm not going to roll with it because that's just definitely not true. Let's keep an eye on the news here. Isaiah Livers looks like he could be back for Detroit tomorrow. Corey Joseph is questionable with a back strain. Oh, what a shocker that is. So he'll be out, and Saban Lee will play there. I wonder if that's it for Joseph for the year, and they just go Hayes and Lee. Let's hope so. Okay. All right, people calling for rapid fire. Let's look at it. Rapid fire. All right, NBA, 5 out of 5 rapid fire. I just got to go back to my screen so I can see exactly how I'm projecting these blokes out. Trae Young or DeJounte Murray? I've got them really neck and neck to each other, but I'm going to take Trae. Siakam or Towns? I have got them again, projected basically right next to each other. I'm going to take Towns. Halliburton or Davion Mitchell? No, I've got Halliburton there. Miles Bridges or Jaylen Brown? I've got Jaylen. Yep, I've got Jaylen there. And then Ingram or Adebayo? I think this is going to be Ingram. Yeah, I've got that. I've got that as comfortably Ingram. So I've got Trae Young, Towns, Halliburton, Jaylen Brown, or Brandon Ingram. All right, there's my rapid fire. Chuck that in there as well. All right, let's roll out these last couple of minutes before we're out of here. See if we get any more news coming across. Nothing else at this point. Come on. Whoever's in New Orleans, can you just tell me whether Valanciunas is playing? Or Hawks, that starts pretty quickly. Is DeAndre playing? Who are you looking at to be excited about today? Garuba? Josh Christopher? He's an option, by the way, for DFS for Houston. I didn't mention him. He's an option. Who are you looking forward to the most today? Who are you interested in seeing? Teo Maladon? CC Angelakos says he ordered a cameo from me and it made him rock hard. Well, I'm not sure that was necessarily the aim of the cameo, but I'm glad it worked for you. It's your last ad for the week in finals. Why is it your last week already? Who will you suggest? Herder, Christopher, Damian Jones, or someone else in a 14-team list? Jesus, how are they all available for you? I think it's got to be Herder. Again, 2 low-volume games for him the rest of this week. I think it's got to be him. I said Rashad is agreeing with me. Thanks, Rashad. This is the second time as it looks at someone has commented on my t-shirts. I don't think it's anything special. I don't know. It feels uncomfortable. It's too high of a neck. But that's fine. If you like it, you like it. Any more updates? No, there is not. So we are gonna transition out of this. We're waiting. Actually, we'll wait. We'll give it 2 more minutes. We'll wait till it's done in case some news comes through. I doubt that it does. Straight after this, I've got a What to Watch For show coming with streaming information for Thursday. Yeah, for Thursday. So we'll talk about that. I've already did the waiver wire show earlier today, so you can go check that out. Let's hope we get some news coming through here so I can tell you the news. I can break it as it happens. Okay. Come on, give me news. Doesn't look like it. All right. We are going to go. I've got to prepare for work, or the other sort of work that I do. So, I will see you guys later. Thanks for watching. Hit thumbs up on the way out. Thanks to Draftstars. Go enter a lineup. I'll see you guys later. Bye.